Hello guys, my name is Madhur and welcome to my channel. This is the 30-second tutorial in the series of tutorials on Unix shell scripting. Now over the past few tutorials we've been learning a lot of new concepts. We learned to use the if statement and the if else statement, and then we learned to use the test statement to run checks on numbers and on files, and we've been doing a lot of boring work. So what we're going to do in this tutorial is we're going to utilize all the knowledge that we've gained over the past few tutorials and actually do something meaningful. So I have my text editor here, and I've saved this file in my home folder. I've given it the name append and the extension sh. Now what this script is going to do is it's going to ask the user to input a name, and then it will check whether a file of the name that has been input exists in the home folder or not. And if the file exists, then it would check whether the user has write permission to that file or not. And if the user has write permission, then it will present the user the option to append some text into the file. And if the user doesn't have write permission, then it will basically do nothing but display a message to the user that he cannot write text into the file because he doesn't have permission, right? So it's going to do very basic work, and it's going to be a very easy shell script to learn. So let's get started. On the first line, I'll put an echo statement to ask the user for a file name, right? And the /c escape sequence, of course, would go in there. On the next statement, I'll use read to grab the user's input, and I'll store it in the variable fname. On the next line, I'll check whether a file of the name that has been stored in fname exists in the home folder or not, right? So I'll put my square brackets in there, and then the option -f to check for the file, and then the name of the variable, which is $fname, and the space after $fname, and this would go inside an if statement. On the next line, I'll have my then keyword, and now we would get inside the if block only if the file has been found. So now we have to do the next thing, and that is to check whether we have write permission or not. So that would happen by putting a test condition inside square brackets again, $fname with the option -w to check for write permission, and this would also have to be in another if statement. On the next line, I'll have my keyword then, but this belongs to the inner if block. On the next line, I'll display a message. This can be thought of as an instructional message to the user, how he has to go about entering the text, right? So type matter to append, and to quit press Control D, and that's because we're going to use the cat command to append text to the file, right? So cat with the double redirection operator, since we want to append the text and not overwrite it, and the name of the file, which is $fname, right? And if the user doesn't have write permission, then we would display a message to the user inside the else block. Of course, we would use echo for it. You do not have permission to write. Great. And then we would have to first end the inner if block by using the keyword fi, and then the outer if block by using fi again. So I'll first execute this script and show you guys how it behaves, and then talk you through it once more. So in my home folder, I have a text file called test, right? And it just has one line, and the line says life is like a box of chocolates, and this is one half of the famous quotation from Forrest Gump, that life is like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're going to get. And the second statement would be appended to this file through the terminal when we execute our script. Now what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take away write permission from this file by using the chmod command and the option -w, and of course I'll have to type in the name of my file. And when I execute it and show you the file in my home folder, you see that now there is a symbol of a lock on my file, and if I would check out the properties of the file, then you would see that the owner just has read-only permission, and it doesn't have read and write permission. Okay, so that is there. And now I would execute my script. Append.sh. God, it's append, not spend. So enter file name, and when I type in test and press the enter key, it tells me that I do not have permission to write. So this is being displayed because the else block got executed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the file write permission, right, and get it back to its original state and execute the script again. But let me first clear the terminal. Clear it. Enter file name, test, and now I see that the cursor is blinking and waiting for me to type in some text. So I'm gonna type in the remaining portion of that quotation. You never know what you are going to get. Next line, Control D to exit. And now if I show you guys the output of my test command, sorry, not the test command, but the test file, and you would see that the first statement is the statement that the file originally had, and the second statement is what we've just input into the file. So now I'll talk you guys through the script file once again. On the first line, we have an echo statement that asks the user to input a file name. The name is grabbed by read and is stored in the variable fname. On the next statement, we have an if statement. On the next line, that is, we have an if statement that checks if a file of the name that is stored in fname exists in the home folder or not. If it does, then we get inside the if block, and we have another if statement that checks for write permission to the file, and if the user has write permission, then we get inside the if block, where we first display a message using echo, and then we use the cat command to append text to the file. And if we do not have write permission, then we get inside the else block and we display a message that the user has no write permission to the file. So there you go. It's a very simple shell script, and the only new thing in the shell script is that we've used a nested if-else construct. And what is meant by that is that we've used a if-else block within another if block, right? So this thing is called nested if-else, and those of you who have any sort of experience in other programming languages would understand how this thing works. And even if you don't have experience, then I'm pretty sure it's pretty simple for you guys to handle. So there you go. That's all I wanted to talk about in this tutorial. In the next tutorial, we'll discuss something interesting again. So thank you so much for watching this one, and please subscribe to my channel.